Alright, there's been a lot of talk in the AI world recently, mainly from Google to be honest, with all the videos they've been releasing recently about not just Bard, but their newest AI model, which is called Gemini. That's what this video is about. We'll talk about what Gemini is supposed to do, we'll talk about what a multimodal AI system actually is, and when you can expect to actually be using this stuff in your own hands. Okay, so in short, multimodal AI systems are systems that can understand and analyze data that comes from different inputs other than just text. So for now, you've probably messed around a little with GPT 3.5 or maybe even GPT 4, but that's a pretty simple setup. It's text in, text out, which is great, but what if we wanted to do a little more? What if you wanted to be able to show an AI model a picture of something you're drawing and for it to be able to, in real time, understand exactly what you're drawing? Or for you to show a bunch of cups with a ball of paper underneath one of them, shuffle them around, then for the model to tell you which cup it's in. Now you might have seen the Gemini demo video that Google released that basically shows the model doing all of these things. And a lot of people got upset, understandably, because we eventually found out, or it hasn't been confirmed yet, that that video demonstration wasn't actually the model doing everything. There was definitely some editing in there, just with how quick the responses were and how smooth the conversation went between the human and the AI. And I'm just going by what's been said online. I never would have suspected anything myself, to be honest. They probably did it to just make the model seem like it's talking more in like real time, which if you see in all the comments, that's what everyone's most amazed by, is how in real time this model is talking to the human like it's a normal conversation. If you've asked ChatGPT a question, especially if it's a bit more of a detailed question, maybe you're asking it to write a program or something, you're obviously familiar with the little bit of delay between you asking the question and the response appearing on the screen. But no, in the Google video, Gemini was basically talking to the human like a normal conversation. The guy would show picture after picture, and Gemini would just go analyze all of them with no problem. That's another reason why people were speculating that the video wasn't an actual demonstration of what Gemini is going to be able to do. I understand it's just a proof of concept for now, but it's still very exciting. Now, speaking of writing programs, GPT-4 can already write programs pretty impressively, to be fair. Obviously, as your code gets more and more complicated, you're eventually going to need more and more human input, which is kind of the point, by the way. We didn't ask for AI to take software engineering jobs. The goal for now, anyway, that Google specified is for engineers and these AI models to actually work together. It's meant to just be an assistant to speed up your workflow, not take your workflow from you. Even if we wanted to, these models are definitely not capable enough to write complex programs all by themselves without any errors. And that's especially true when you start giving the model challenges that really rely on logical reasoning and even maths, rather than just needing a basic understanding of the coding language's syntax. Around 2 years ago, Google already announced AlphaCode, which was their first model that they put forward to competitive programming tasks, and the result apparently was that it performed the same as the average human competitor, which is a bit of a vague comparison, but that's fine. But based on Gemini, they recently announced AlphaCode 2, which they estimate to outcompete 85% of human competitors doing the same coding challenge. What's especially new is that with an example problem that was given for a coding challenge that only 0.2% of people doing the challenge could solve, AlphaCode's approach was based on dynamic programming, which basically means it can make its own decision on where and how to break up the problem into smaller problems individually. Now the thing is, we've already seen these multimodal models, just a little less extreme than where Google's about to take it. OpenAI already has Dolly, which you probably haven't used yet because it costs like $20 per month to use, which I get if you don't want to pay that much. And that's kind of multimodal. And I say kinda because you're not able to input anything other than text quite yet, but you are getting an output of 1024 by 1024 pixels that are literally bringing your text to life in a scarily short amount of time. But Google showing the possibilities of Gemini has been very exciting, but also I'm a little bit skeptical about some parts. And I say that mainly because there's been too many times where tech companies have promised a lot of things and then their production pipeline has been interrupted by whatever. And what's especially worrying is that the video was, at least partly, fake, and so it's clearly not ready yet, and that's fine, but don't expect the demo we got from that video to be the bare minimum of what we're getting. If anything, it's probably going to be the outcome if everything goes perfectly well. Now again, it's not confirmed that Google faked any part of the video, but you can definitely see some cuts happening throughout it, which is fine, but it's just something to be aware of. The responses aren't necessarily going to be that quick, but it's fun because we'll see what happens. There was, however, another video Google made in collaboration with Mark Rober this time that was about Bard powered by Gemini, and then the goal of the video was to make the best possible paper airplane. And in that video, he would input pictures of the airplane designs that he had done, and then ask it questions like which one of these is going to be the most aerodynamic and stuff like that. Those responses, at least the speed of them, seemed a lot more realistic than what was in the full hands-on with Gemini video. Either way, I'm very excited about the things that have already been announced so far because Google seems very serious on two parts of tech that I think are going to be huge later on, which are AR and VR. Maybe VR less so because the original Project Starline that we saw hasn't gone very far other than just the first couple demo videos. But a huge thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it useful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.